Do you think we can make an apple cobbler in a wood-fired wood stove? I'm here to show you that we can. Stay tuned. Well, good morning. We're taking the day off from the garden today, and by popular demand we're going to be making that great apple cobbler. I've got a bunch of nice apples here. Most of them came from our tree, and we've gathered up 4 pounds of them. The first step is going to be to peel these things and to core them, and then to slice them up into little 1/4 inch segments. That's going to take me a while, so I'll see you in a little while. Okay, there we are at long last. It took about an hour and a half to peel and slice 4 pounds of apples. Now I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in our apples, which are in a nice size mixing bowl. And then I'm going to just toss these to coat them really well with the lemon juice. By the way, the definition of a cobbler is a fruit filling that has a layer of a biscuit over the top. We'll be making the biscuit in a little bit. Some biscuits I like better than others. I like this recipe we're going to be using. In the mid-19th century, you would see cobblers that would go in a dough-filled pie pan, almost like a fruit pie. But somewhere around the end of the 19th century, they lost, or they started not having the dough surrounding the entire fruit. It was just the biscuit on the top, which is in opposition to a crisp. Alright, now we're going to get the rest of the ingredients for our filling. Okay, now the next ingredient is going to be about 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And Danielle and I usually don't put as much sugar as these recipes call for, so this is a little bit less than 1/3 cup. And you notice that this is white sugar. Well, we don't keep brown sugar on hand. We make our own. So into that brown sugar, into that white sugar, we're going to put maybe, just a little bit. Not even a tablespoon of molasses. That's all you need. And that is all that brown sugar is. And we'll just take a fork or whatever's handy for you, and we're just going to mix that up. Alright, that looks pretty good. We'll just put that into our mixture. We're going to be blending the whole thing when we're done. There, that looks pretty good. Get every bit of that out because that's part of your recipe. Okay, we're going to come in with a tablespoon of cornstarch. We're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. By the way, cinnamon is very good if you're trying to ward off viruses. Cinnamon. Keep it on hand. Cinnamon and mullein. Yeah. Put a pinch of it in your coffee. That's right, Danielle says. So we're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Here it comes. So for nutmeg, we're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon. And so this is the size of 1/4 of a teaspoon. And I'm just going to freewheel it. Nutmeg makes such a difference. That's just about it right there. If you're not using nutmeg in your baking, your dessert baking, I definitely recommend it. It doesn't take a lot. That's it right there. Another thing I like to put in to our filling is some grated lemon peel. It doesn't take much. A little goes a long way to help flavor this thing up. There we go, that should do it. And that is our fruit filling. Give this a nice stir, blend everything really good. All of these apples came from our own apple tree. We only had one apple tree producing apples this year. The Wolf Rivers should just about be out. We have a Wolf River tree, but it's not producing apples quite yet. It's a little bit too young for that. But up here in New England, you should be seeing Wolf Rivers at the stands. They make for a wonderful baking apple. I believe these are Northern Spies. There we go. Now we can put the filling in our dish, our baking dish. This is a 9 by 13. This is the dish I also make lasagnas in. I like to take the spatula and just press all of these apple pieces. Press them down. Try to get rid of any of the voids and try to fill the corners. That looks pretty good. Now onto the biscuit topping. I'm going to melt 3/4 of a cup of butter, unsalted butter, on the stove top. Into a large mixing bowl, I'm going to put about 240 grams of all-purpose flour, and that's about 2 cups. Into our biscuit topping mix, we're going to put 1/2 cup of sugar, or if you're like us, you use maybe a little bit less. We're going to put in a tablespoon of baking powder. And a teaspoon of salt. We're just going to whisk all of our ingredients together. While we wait for our butter to melt for the topping, I just want to take a cup or a half a stick of butter, and I want to slice it up into cubes, little cubes. And these cubes are going to be put on top of our filling. Oh. Put these right on top of our filling. We're just going to take our cubes and disperse them around the apples. When I say around, I mean on. Just kind of spread them out like that. That looks pretty good. All right, now let's finish that topping. All right, here we go. We're almost finished. We're going to put 3/4 of a cup of milk. I didn't have any milk, so I'm using half and half. And our stick and a half of melted butter. This is going to be good. Now we're just going to spatula this all together. We're almost finished. Now we're just going to put our topping over our filling. What could be easier, huh? What could be easier? This gives you that nice autumn flavor and smells and aromas in your kitchen. You get to go out and find an apple orchard. Get yourself some Wolf Rivers, some Granny Smiths would work. Or whatever you have on hand. Okay, there we go. That thing is ready to go in the oven. So we want a 350-degree oven, and we're not quite there at the moment, but I open up the bottom door, which will give us a nice vent, increase that heat. We'll put this in the 350-degree oven for about 45 to 50 minutes. I lost a lot of heat playing around with the oven door, but it'll be right back. You just got to keep an eye on it. Oh, there goes the timer. Our apple cobbler should be done. Yeah, that helped to even out the browning. I always like to turn baking projects around in the oven halfway through whatever you have the timer set for. Turn it around 180 degrees because wood stove ovens, they just don't heat like a convection oven does, needless to say. But I did turn it around and I gave it another 5 or 6 minutes to get a little bit of brownness on this side. So that's okay. We'll let it cool for 10 minutes and then see what she looks like. Alright, our 10 minutes of waiting time is over. So I'm going to cut into this bad boy. I haven't even had lunch yet, but I can't resist. I want to get all of the filling that is owed me. There we go. That looks nice. I guess that's the traditional way to have apple cobbler, is with a little bit of vanilla ice cream on top.